HarlequinAudio is proud to bring you One Sizzling Night by Leigh, a Harlequin Blaze novel performed by Abby Craden, and A Seal's Touch by Tawny Weber, a Harlequin Blaze novel performed by Alexander Cendese. One Sizzling Night by Leigh. 1. Kensey Roberts made the short walk from the mansion to her boss's office at a brisk pace. They'd been working out of his Tarrytown, New York estate for a week now, and normally she enjoyed the leisurely stroll through the garden when she had occasion to meet with him. Not today. She paused outside his door and glanced down at her pressed linen pants and cream-colored blouse. She'd paid particular attention to how she looked this morning. Her hair was simple, a little wavy now that it was past her shoulders. Applying makeup had been a challenge, but she'd had to do something to hide the fact that she hadn't slept in over 24 hours. A final inspection assured her that she looked as cool and polished as usual. Inside, she was a complete mess. Neil Patterson was sitting behind his immaculate teakwood desk. On any other day, she'd help herself to coffee first, exchange a few pleasantries if he wasn't in the middle of something. Today, Kensey headed straight for him and skipped the small talk. "I hate to spring this on you at the last minute," she said, ignoring the leather chair across from him. Too much adrenaline was shooting through her system. She couldn't sit. Hadn't been able to sleep or stomach the thought of food since last night. "I need some time off." Neil leaned back, eyebrows raised. "Good morning." Kensey nodded. "Hopefully it will be just a week, so I'll be able to escort the Van Gogh to Vienna next month as planned." Her voice, she knew, was well modified, and there was nothing about her expression that signaled anything but calm assurance. This mask had been her saving grace for years. She'd learned how to play a part from the best teacher in the world. "But it's possible I'll be away longer." Neil didn't ask why. She doubted he thought it had anything to do with the weeks of vacation time she'd never used. He simply waited, his expression as neutral as her own, though she'd bet her Rolex he already knew what was going on. The CEO of the Patterson Group had made his first million at 23 and turned that into $1 billion empire before he'd hit 50. Not only was he brilliant, he was careful, and he did his research. He was also the man who'd spotted something worthy enough in her that he'd taken her under his wing 4 years ago, giving her a life she'd never dreamed possible. Ironically, they'd met over a forgery. God, Kensey didn't want to disappoint him, but she had something very important to prove. "I'd wondered if you'd seen this," Neil said, and opened the folder sitting in front of him. The second she saw the neatly folded copy of the New York Post, she knew it was over. Her secret was about to unravel. In truth, it had started to fray 2 years ago, when Neil had guessed that she had a connection to the Houdini burglar. But the thefts had stopped by then, and Neil hadn't pressed her to fill in the blanks from her past. He would now, though, and she could hardly blame him. He slid the paper across his desk. Every part of her wanted to run, but she stayed right where she was, her gaze lowered to the article that could change her life forever. "Art Collector Does a Houdini with $10 million Degas" by John Witzek. Art lovers around the globe have been stunned by the report that Douglas Foster, highly respected art collector and import-export entrepreneur, is a person of interest in the investigation of a Degas landscape heist. At 9 o'clock Sunday morning, investment banker Clive Seymour discovered his security system disabled and the wood, painted by Edgar Degas, missing from his private collection. Mr. Seymour was alone in his home at the time, although he and longtime associate Foster had dined together the previous evening. NYPD Detective Sergeant Calvin Brown arrived at the estate at 9:30 and confirmed
Sample complete. Ready to continue?